The purpose of this video is to explain how to set up Dewesoft to utilize serial data to start and stop storing using the triggered storing option. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we have the plugin enabled, and so we go to Hardware Setup, Plugins, scroll down until you see the SerialCom plugin, and I'm using version 2.0.7. It is possible that there is a newer version, but they all work the same, so this video should have all relevant information even if you have a newer version of the plugin. So as you can see here, I have a COM port assigned to the SerialCom plugin already. It's COM9 and it's set up to 9600 N81 COM settings. If you needed to add one because one was not showing up in your list, you would just click the add button. Right now the add button is not highlighted because I have no other COM ports on this computer. So if you have no COM ports, you will not be able to add anything. If you have more than one COM port, this button will stay highlighted until every COM port is populated below these buttons here. So once you have your COM port selected and added and the settings set appropriately, just click OK. Then click on Acquisition, Channel Setup, and then SerialCom. And the first thing we want to do is click on Responses. And the Responses region is where you are going to set up how to read in data that it's going to be sent to you from another device. And to set a response channel, click the Add a New Response button. And you're going to name this the Start, and set the start string to $$ and you can set your start string to whatever you like, but we are choosing $$ and then click the add button, and we're going to also name this start. And for the purposes of this video, we're just going to do a stop string type of response channel as opposed to a fixed length, and choose CR for our stop string. We're going to choose numeric for the data type, and we're going to leave everything to the defaults. Click OK. So now we have a response channel named start, and we can test it by inputting some data that fits the criteria of the response channel. So the start string will be $$, and we'll make it the data 3, and the end character CR. Click test. And as you can see here, it received a space and a 3, and it translated it as a 3 because it's only concerned about the numerics. So we can see here that our channel setup is correct. Click OK. Now we want to create some math channels to use this data, so we can create a triggered storage feature. Click on Math, click on Formulas. First thing I want to do is set the asynchronous serial channel to synchronous, and the way we can do that is create a basic formula channel, math channel. I'm going to name it Start Sync, and then I'm going to delete what's in the channel already and add the Start channel, which is the response channel of the SerialCom plugin, and I'm going to make it synchronized just by choosing Sync for the time axis. Then I'm going to use that data to create a condition to start the storage. So I'm going to name it condition, and then create a if condition. If start sync equals 3, that's going to be the start number 3. Output a 1, otherwise output a 0. And I'm going to put in some other math here to enable us to actually see that the amount of time that it's recording is what we would like it to be. And we're going to set that time frame in the storing section of this setup. But we're not there yet, so I'm going to get a little ahead of ourselves here and create the channels for that. So first we need to create a time channel. And And then we need to create a channel that will trigger every time the storage starts. It'll send a trigger pulse. So every time that storing starts, it'll send this trigger. And then we want to latch the value of the time when that trigger occurs. And then subtract that from the actual time, and that'll give the elapsed time from the start of the measure or start of storing. Okay, now we're going to set up the storing channels. Use create multi-file, fast on trigger. Pre-time will be 10 seconds, which is 10,000 milliseconds. Hold off time we're not going to have because that's not going to be an issue with the way this is triggering. And so we are going to start on the condition, 0.5, and then we will stop time after the trigger, and we'll choose 70 seconds to give us 60 seconds total from the trigger time plus the 10 seconds of pre-time. We'll go to measure, and I'm just going to delete everything that's here. I'm going to create an indicator for the start sync so we can see when the command comes in, the condition. Also create a visual indicator for when the condition is true. And another visual indicator to show when storing is active. And then one more store indicator for the time elapsed. Okay, so now we have this set up. I can now send a command to the system to start the storage, but first I need to arm. So now I'm going to send a 3 over serial, which should start the storage. And as you can see, it started. Now I'm going to send a 0 shortly after, such that this can be re-triggered after this storing time has completed. So I sent the 0, and now the condition is 0, but it's still storing because the storing condition was set to continue storing for 60 seconds after the trigger. Now that the condition is set back to 0, there will be a positive going trigger event that will enable us to re-trigger this after this measurement is complete. And I will show you that once this is done. I'm going to pause this and restart it when we're closer to 60 seconds. Okay, now we're about 5 seconds away from the time that this should stop the storage. So I'm turning back on the recording so we can observe that. It has stopped. Now I'm going to send it another command to show that we can reset the storing. And it started storing again, which also reset the elapsed time. I'm going to send a 0 again. pause the recording and start it again once we're closer to 60 seconds. So now we're about 10 seconds away from when it should stop recording. So if we observe in the next 2 or 3 seconds, it should stop. And it just stopped. So now you can see from this video that this is a serially triggered storing event that can be re-triggered after the period of time that you have preset in the storing options has elapsed. So it's a continuous re-trigger event that requires no interaction from the user.